Hello Year 10 and welcome to the first of your remote learning lessons, which will take you through from today until Monday inclusive next week. So my name's Mr. Sumner, if you don't know me, and I'm one of the English teachers. What we've done as a team is we've all agreed what we're going to work on this week, and we're going to work on English language so that we don't get too far behind in the literature work that some of you may have already started on Dickens and also on Robert Louis Stevenson. So we're going to do some language work this week. I'm going to be setting you 4 remote lessons that we're going to do over the course of the week, with 1 each day when you'd normally have your lessons. So again, try and get yourself into a good routine, and I would really advise you doing this work when you'd normally have a lesson. So for a lot of you today, that's period 5 this afternoon, so a good piece of work to do in this afternoon. So what we'll be looking at today is The Woman in Black, which is a ghost story by Susan Hill, and we're practicing for English Paper 1, which is a language paper where you have to explore and analyse 2 different kinds of text. Now, as you can see in front of you, you've got the picture from the film with Daniel Radcliffe with this sort of haunting, mysterious figure behind him, and that's very much the sort of the tone of the novel. So the do now that I'd like you to do, so just take 5 minutes now to pause this video and then have a look at the 2 images in front of you. So these are 2 different front covers from Susan Hill's book, The Woman in Black. And again, we always say don't judge a book by its cover, but the reality is that cover designs play a big part in how we perceive or accept a book. And as you can see, these 2 covers are clearly designed to make us think about ghost stories and hauntings and things like that. So what I'd like you to do now is to stop the video and make a list of all the things on the cover that suggest this is a ghost story. So, having done that, let's think about the different kind of ideas that you suggested and that you've written down. So, if you look closely, you can see that both covers make the trees look alive, don't they? They look like they've got arms, particularly the ones on the right, and are moving in a kind of ominous fashion. This is called animism, when we give human qualities to objects or non-human things. Then when you look at the picture on the left, it draws attention to the woman more closely, and as you can see, her face is entirely blank and her eyes are hollowed out and white. Neither cover shows any daylight, which again suggests the kind of darkness in the novel. And if you look closely at the bottom of the page, on the one on the right, you'll see there's what appears to be a small cross buried in the ground, and again just creating a foreshadowing of death and despair. So all good cheerful stuff. So what we'll be looking at in today's lesson is Paper 1 practice, and our overall objective is to think about how writers use language to create a sense of genre. The developing vocabulary is what I've done for you is on the extract, which is a Word document on Go for Schools. I want you to look up all the highlighted words in your extract and write down their meanings. And what do we want you to do today's lesson? We'd like you to read over the extract from The Woman in Black at least 3 times. That's really, really important when you're given these kinds of text and extract, to read them properly in an engaged and really, really thorough way. I want you to create a list of difficult words from the extract and find out their meaning. These are the words that I've highlighted, but if there are any other words that you're not sure about, that's the point, not sure about, write them down, get a dictionary or use Google and get a definite definition so you know. And then the last thing we're going to do is answer a Paper 1 question 1, which is a very gentle introduction to the paper, but that's all I want you to do today, so just get used to it. And of course it's your first day of remote learning. So here is the extract I've given you. The whole thing is obviously larger, but I just wanted to give you an example of the kind of words that I've picked out. So if you can see, I've picked out sheen, pallor, ravage, bewilderment and malevolence. On the article, the whole thing has been highlighted in this way to help you and look at what you're doing. So again, what you should do now in the lesson is I would take 10 minutes to read through the article at least 3 times. And here are some of those difficult words. So you could pull them out in any order you like. If you wanted to really be organised about it, you could look through the whole article first and then alphabeticize the words, so it'll be a bit clearer for you in terms of a glossary. But the main thing is to write down these words and find a translation that works for the context of them. So for example, the word sheen can mean shiny in certain ways, but whereas we might talk about the sheen on a beautiful metal bonnet of a new car, the kind of sheen that is on this ghostly woman's face is probably going to be quite different. So words and their meanings are really closely connected to their context, to how we use them in a sentence as well. So have a think about that when you're doing this, please. The last thing that I want you to do then is to actually do a Paper 1 question 1, and to write this down on a Word document or on paper so it's something your English teacher can see. Paper 1, question 1 is always the same in your English language paper 1. It is always going to be a short question worth 4 marks. And you select some information from the text. You don't need to write in full sentences, and ideally you shouldn't actually quote it. You should write it in your own words, but you can write it as a list of 4 things. And as you can see in the instruction here, it actually specifically says list 4 things. So the character who is telling the story is Arthur Kipps. So what I want you to do is to list 4 things that Arthur Kipps intends to do from this part of the text. So it's only asking you to look at from lines 1 to 6. And when you've written that down and done that, and when you have your list of words, and when you've read the text 3 times, that's today's lesson done. So a gentle start to language paper 1. Tomorrow I will give you some of the suggested, what we call indicative content for paper 1, question 1, and we're going to look at how to do question 2, which is worth 8 marks, and how to go over that in a really thorough and effective way. Thank you very much for listening, Year 10. I hope you have a good day. I hope you and your families are safe, and myself and the rest of the English department will see you very soon. Bye bye.